Well, in other news tonight, Ekapa Minerals Mine, where 5 miners are trapped, or have been trapped, it should say, after a mud rush last Tuesday, will now go under liquidation. All mining activity at that mine has now been halted. Metalworkers Union Numsa says it will approach the courts for a way forward and a clear plan on how what's believed now at this stage, the bodies of those trapped workers will be retrieved. Let's get the view now of Lerato Mohatlane, who is Numsa's Kimberly local organizer. Good to have you on the program this evening. So let's start first with the announcement today from the company that ultimately this mine is going to be shut down with immediate effect as per this liquidation, and what impact that is going to have on your members.
Look, good evening to you and good evening to all the viewers out there. I think we have to correct something here because all of us, we were misled in terms of the issue of liquidation, whereby we said that the company is being liquidated. It has just came to our attention now that the company is the one applying for liquidation. So we are shocked as Numsa, but today in the evening we are meeting at 7 o'clock with the regional secretary, Comrade Andile Zito, and the legal department of Numsa in terms of paving a way forward on this matter. In terms of the 5 trapped workers which are still trapped underground, we are really paying as Numsa that the employer, which is at Ekapa Minerals, he is applying for liquidation, even though there are still 5 bodies which are still trapped inside his yard, underneath his yard. But we are not shocked as Numsa because we have been telling the public that this mine, it has turned into a crime scene. It is no longer a workplace.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hear you on that, and I understand, according to some of the reporting based on a statement from the chief executive officer, that the search for what is now, tragically, a group of workers who are presumed dead is going to continue nonetheless. Is that a guarantee that you as Labour have been given?
Look, we just come from a meeting now with the chief of staff, whereby we were rest assured that the rescue team are still continuing with the search. And then we did manage to meet with the team. In terms of that one, we are rest assured that the search is continuing. But in terms of how long it will continue, we are not sure. In terms of how things are unfolding, you can see that the employer started applying for liquidation. So that on its own, it shows you that things might turn out in a way that we all don't want them to turn out.
And I'm looking at a piece published by a publication called Numsa Bulletin, and what they are saying is that basically they've had confirmation that the Dutoitspan mine has officially been closed as of the 25th of February, which is today. Can you confirm that that is true?
Look, we can confirm that is true because we also received a notice of motion whereby the mine is approaching the High Court. And the meeting, actually the decision was taken around 3 a.m., whereby workers were just told to stop operating or to stop all the operations around 9 a.m. today in the morning. So we can confirm that what they are saying is true.
So the company then, it appears, intends to go ahead with this liquidation because there is, as you're confirming, an application to have that done and then hopefully sell off assets to pay off creditors and some of the other debts. But what's going to become of the workers who depend on this mine for an income? How many will be affected and where will it leave them if the employer simply does not have money to meet the month-to-month demands, including paying salaries, I understand?
Look, we have 370 workers who are on an unpaid layoff as we speak. And then on top of that, we have about 1,200 workers who are still working at Ekapa, whom did not receive any salaries today, and they don't know when will they get their salaries. So, and as we speak, there was a process of Section 189 of retrenchment that was taking place, and it has been put on hold because of what is happening currently at Ekapa. So what we can tell you that the situation is very, very devastating, whereby we don't know where does the future of these workers lie. Today afternoon, when we concluded with the Chief of Staff, we also managed to meet with the employer, who agreed, actually the General Manager, Mr. Howard, he agreed that tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, he will be able to make it a point that the CEO, Mr. Janoni, joins a meeting between us and them, whereby we are going to discuss the issues of when are they paying the salaries of workers. And it is our demand and expectations as Numsa that those salaries must be paid tomorrow before close of business, that each and every worker must receive the salary that they've worked for.
So if this mine is indeed liquidated, would all 1,200 workers lose their jobs?
Look, if the mine is indeed liquidated, it is clear that all the 1,200 workers will then lose their jobs. Hence, we were even asking the Chief of Staff that, don't you know of any company or a business person that is searching for a mine to buy or so forth? Because our interest as Numsa is to make sure that we reduce the levels of unemployment in trying to make sure that also the levels of poverty are kept. So we are praying so hard that these 1,200 workers, they will find a new employer who will take care of them and a person that will comply with the legislatives of this country.
So lastly then, you said you're going to go into a meeting this evening. We're reporting that you're also looking at the possibility of court action to try and block this liquidation. So what will the meeting tonight discuss? What is its purpose? And what do you think, in fact, let me ask it this way, do you think the liquidation is necessary?
It's a good question. Look, to just give you a brief summary, we are the ones in 2023 when this company was starting to encounter some problems which were not on paper, but we gave them an advice that, can you please apply for a business rescue? And they failed to take our advice, hence we are here today. So today, this evening, we will be meeting with the Regional Secretary, Comrade Andy Lezito. Firstly, we will be briefing him. He will be with the Regional Legal Officer, and then we'll be briefing him in terms of what is happening at Ekapa and then what happened in our meeting with the Chief of Staff. And then from there, the legal advisor will advise us in terms of what is the way forward. Because as you know, as Numsa, such matters, we cannot let them to sleep just like that. So I think after our meeting today, tomorrow we can give you an update in terms of what is the way forward coming from Numsa.
Lerato Mohatlane, good to talk to you, Numsa representative in the Kimberley area on the Ekapa mine story, where, by the way, we're now hearing the company has applied for a liquidation, but the search will continue nonetheless for the mine workers who became trapped underground during a mud rush. They are now tragically presumed dead.